Hey there, comic fam. Welcome back to Climbing Comics. In today's session, we'll be going over the first appearance of Amadeus Cho, who eventually becomes the Hulk. Hey there, comic fam. Welcome back to Climbing Comics. If this is your first time joining me on this series, I wanted to give a short explanation as to what we're doing here. I've been going over a lot of the very first appearances of lots of different characters. Last year, I did a lot of the major characters, and this year I wanted to focus a little bit more on lesser known characters, mainly because with everyone collecting these different books, I thought it'd be good to just kind of dive deeper into certain books that we want to collect. As part of this collection, I wanted to go over Amadeus Cho. The reason I wanted to go over this character is in 2019, when I got back into comics, one of the first books I read was The War of the Realms, and specifically New Agents of Atlas. This is a team composed of different Marvel characters from Asian countries. For example, we have Silk, we have Arrow, Wave, Luna Snow, as well as they're all led by Jimmy Woo. One of the big characters in this book is Amadeus Cho. So I wanted to look at his very first appearance. His first appearance was in Amazing Fantasy number 15, not the original Spider-Man one, but the reboot that was done, I believe, in 2004 to 2006. Amazing Fantasy 15 came out in January of 2005 by Greg Pak and Takeshi Miyazawa. This is a pretty cool book because it kind of highlights about 7 different stories, and one of the stories is actually about the guy in Spider-Man's armpit. That's what they call it, the guy who's Spider-Man's actually carrying in the original Amazing Fantasy number 15. So we start off with Amadeus Cho. He has this kind of headset on, and he's somewhere in the southwestern United States. He's calling this agent. Her name is Agent Sexton, and she's asking him to essentially say hey, where are you? We can come find you. And apparently she's standing at his parents' house, and behind her is the house blown up. Amadeus is like, I cannot trust you. I don't know who you are, and I don't know if you're the person that actually blew up my house. She tries to convince him, saying that, hey, we know you're the 7th smartest person in the world. The enemy's trying to find you. If they find you, they're gonna kind of exploit you, but come with us and then we'll help you. And he's like, I'm not really sure about this. With the amount of information I know about you, I don't really trust you at all. All she says is, hey, lay low, don't get into too much trouble. The next scene is you see him at this diner. Essentially, he's sitting next to this guy who's a little bit suspicious. The TV's on, talking about the house is blown up, and they call this kid Mastermind Excello. The reason why they call him this is he scored 7,839 more points than any other competitor in this history of Excello Soap Company's Brain Fight. It's like a kind of an internet game show. You find out why he's considered the 7th smartest person in the world. You see him on the side kind of pressing this cassette. This is definitely 2005. I don't think many people have kind of recorder cassettes. The waitress comes by and she's like, hey kid, no dogs allowed. You kind of see him. He has this dog that's kind of underneath his coat from the very first page. You saw him kind of rescue this pup or this coyote from the middle of the road. The cop's there and was like, hey, do you have a coyote in your coat? There's a rabies infestation kind of going about right now. You can't have that dog there, right? So he's like, no. This is like a half-breed between German Shepherd and Malamute. So this is definitely not a coyote. So you see the cop walk up to the kid, and the suspicious guy on the side is like, hey kid, don't be stupid. Just listen to the cop. And then the kid's like, hey, I'm not stupid. So at the same time, as the cop is approaching him, he clicks a button on his tape recorder, and all of a sudden everyone in the diner is incapacitated. You see these equations flying around in Amadeus Cho's head. So it's kind of reminiscent of the movies where a lot of people whenever they're kind of coming up with something, there's equations and whatnot going around. This is very childlike. You kind of see him kind of spit a lemon seed through a straw to hit the officer. He sprays them with pepper, and as he's running out the door, he kicks like this tray of different pies, like apple pie, cherry pie, lemon meringue pie. Once he gets past the waitress and the cop, he's like, "See ya, suckers." And you see there, like, the suspicious guy, he has pie on his face and he's still drinking his coffee. So as he drives out, he's on his little moped, he's carrying his one piece of pie and then the coyote pup in his pocket. All of a sudden, you see this helicopter fly in and then start trying to aim something at the kid, right? At the exact same time, you see him kind of twist his moped's rear view mirror up, so then the laser sight that was supposed to be on the kid bounces back straight to the person with the bazooka gun. And then so the bazooka gun guy shoots and it kind of misfires and it ends up hitting that suspicious looking dude that was in the diner. Lo and behold, it's actually the Hulk himself. As the helicopter shoots another missile, the Hulk just smashes it away. The kid's like, "Oh, it's not my fault. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Next scene, you see the Hulk and this kid kind of away from all of this disaster. They're kind of next to this cliff, resting. Kid's eating his chocolate cream pie because he says that using that much of mental energy like really tires him out. The Hulk is essentially saying, "What did Banner tell you?" Kid says, "Don't be stupid." And then the Hulk's like, he's weak. Not like us. So I guess this is where they kind of bond, and the Hulk just kind of goes away. At the same time, at the very end, Amadeus calls Agent Sexton and is like, "Hey, I'm coming for you. I know you did this to me." And she's like, "Hey, that wasn't us. That wasn't us." She's like, "How are you even going to find me?" And he's like, "I'll think of something." And then that's how it ends. The end, ? So it's a really fun, probably 7 to 10 page book about just this character in itself. This is his very first appearance. The rest of the book are of different characters and of the guy underneath Spider-Man's armpit. It's pretty fun. You don't really get to see how he becomes the Hulk in this individual book, but what I've read is that there's a series called The Totally Awesome Hulk. This is automatically, you jump in, Amadeus Cho is the Hulk. So I think throughout the first 4 issues of this book, there are interstitial pages. There's like probably like a couple pages in the middle of issue 1, a couple pages in the middle of issue 2, 3, and 4 that kind of go over the story of how he got the Hulk's powers. Long story short, a couple months before he got his powers, over the Kenyan coast, like there was a experimental fusion reactor accident that had like failed essentially. So this threatened the lives of about 50 million people. The Hulk, Bruce Banner, jumps in and to stop the meltdown, what he does is he absorbs all of the radiation from this reactor. But at the same time, the physiology of the Hulk couldn't contain it. So he's in the middle of the ocean and like he's about to melt down himself. Like the waters of the sea levels start boiling. Amadeus Cho comes in to help Tony Stark to figure out how to stop this meltdown by the Hulk. During this, the powers of the Hulk actually get transferred to Amadeus Cho. And, I think Amadeus's plan was to have this happen because he's like, "I know you didn't want this curse upon you. I can take it from you." This book is also by Greg Pak, penciled by Alan Davis. I started to read a couple of these first issues of The Totally Awesome Hulk. They seem to be pretty fun. So if you're interested in Amadeus Cho as the Totally Awesome Hulk, now you have a little bit of an idea of his first appearance in the reboot of Amazing Fantasy. So definitely check it out. If you want that book, now you have some background. So if you like this type of content, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified of when I come out with new content. From my comic journey to yours, make it your own. Thanks all. Bye.